Well, welcome to our second tutorial. We're going to start on page 33 with plan folder organization. You're going to find it very similar to what you see in Windows Explorer. If you're a Mac user, then you still should have no problem with this. It's really very easy, cut and dry over here. So the very first thing we're going to do is create a few new folders over here. So let me take you to the top of page 33. So if you want to follow along with me, I'll give you a second there and let you work on that. Alright, hopefully you're there. So if you take a look, you're going to see that we have a site in here. There's a whole bunch of folders and files. The folder we did is the images folder, which I had already created in here, but it's going to tell you to create something that we already did. So the very first thing it wants us to do is create a resources folder. This is organization. So regardless of what the book says, we're always going to organize our sites where the only file that's going to be in the root directory is going to be the image file. I'm sorry, the index file, which is the home page. It could also be called default, but we're going to stick it index. And then everything else will be in its own folder. So you can see we have some HTML files called menu, and we have about. Those all would be in separate, and here's events. Those all would be in separate folders, and that's for organization. It's much easier to maintain your site if it's organized properly in here. So it wants us to create a resource folder, which is really very easy. If you just right-click on top of the site folder, and you can choose new file, new folder, and a whole bunch of other stuff. In this particular case, we want new folder. And then we're going to talk about resources. So we'll create its own folder. Hopefully I spelled it right. That takes care of that. Now, notice that everything is not in order alphabetically. So it really is for some part, but the resources folder is not. To refresh it, just click on this little refresh over here, or just like in Windows, you can hit F5. So we'll take care of that. Then we're going to create an images folder, which we've already done, and now a menus folder. Now notice if you right click somewhere else, you can get new folder as well. However, bear in mind that if I create the new folder here, it's going to create it inside the images. So very careful. Just make sure that you just do it up top. Choose new folder. And we want to do menus. And that takes care of page 33. Again, we'll refresh. So now we're going to sort. Sorting is, obviously advantages. So you can control how to sort over here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to move a file into the image folder. So let me jump a little bit ahead and do number 2 before I do number 1. So let's go in here and we'll just choose the file that it tells us to, which is the burger JPG, which obviously makes us hungry. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to drag that into the images folder. Now very, very important. When it asks you update links, yes, make sure that you update it. Otherwise, it will not be able to find the actual file itself or the image in this particular case. So now I'm going to go back to number 1 because it's going to ask us to do the rest of the image files. So notice that you have an image here, you have one here, then you have one here and here. So we want to have them all done at one time. So I'm going to right click on the local files and I'm going to click on type. That adds the type column, but it's still not sorted by type. So I'm just going to click on type here. And now they are. So here we have JPG, 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 a whole bunch of them, and a PNG. We want all of those. So if you remember anything about selecting in, say, Microsoft Word, if you click on the very first item, and then you hold the shift key down and click on the very last item, you can do that. Now, unlike File Explorer, you can right click on File Explorer and choose Move To. Here, we can just drip and drag. So we're going to click and drag it, and boom. Again, make sure that you choose Update Everything. That will take care of that. So we've kind of taken care of everything all in one. We have 3, we've done 4. So if you want to get back to citing, sorting